That's recording. All right, so is this session 1 or still a session 0?
I
Just for
think still
labeling.
session 0, really.
Okay. So session
We
0.5.
Yeah, and then we might have to have a session 0.1 if we need to get more players in as well.
That's fair.
Um, yeah,
I've definitely got something I can bring in for next time, I think. I'll just make sure to put it in their mind. So they
sure
can get
thing.
back to me in
I'll
time.
ask around. I might have a few people that might be interested, and I know for sure if they are interested, they'll be showing up or
Yeah.
tell us ahead of time. All right, everyone ready?
All right. Yeah.
All right, okay. Among the vanished or vanquished battlefield, billowing smoke from the arcane cannons, splashing to the ground like falling stars, the artillery blinking in and out of the clouds with warm reds that mix with violent the black clouds. The mixture of the storm, thunder, and booming sounds of war are nearing deafening compared to the gentle rain. Moving across the trenches, thick gargling of mud under the troops' boots growl loud from one point to another. Their mana rifles and heads peek over to peek through the barbed wire. The fog settles to the ground. Small troop of recruits throw into the fray of war, stand in front of a massive Krulian Oni, decorated in military gear and an immovable frown of disappointment on his face. My name is Sergeant Bardlock. I am your superior, and my word is gospel. You will follow my every command without hesitation, or it will be your life. He more or less stands in a demeaning slouch, and in such an intense situation, the posed gestures of disgust at his recruits remind him of rotten fish. He points to the first person in line, then drags his fingers through the air, announcing, All recruits will introduce themselves in order. Give their specific usefulness. And for this portion, I want you all to roll initiative really quick. And this is how we're going to kind of just tell who goes first when talking. We'll just roll initiative
Which
and we'll
dice
go
is
from
that?
there.
D20.
Roll d20.
So D20, and then on your sheet there should be like an initiative bonus.
Yes.
I got a dirty 20. So not natural.
Okay.
I got a 14.
Rolled 11.
Okay. Let me just write these down really quick.
Mhm.
Brief. Moon. Threat. As he does so, he kind of puts you out in line, and then he straightens you up, literally his arms reaching out, moving you across to each other, and smashing you into a line. Um, First person who has the highest initiative, please introduce yourself as your character.
Is that me? Wait.
Yes, that
Okay.
is you.
I'm not really sure what to do here. My name is Linus Fibelnack, and I joined because I thought I would at least prove something to myself, but it seems that you have got a very intense way about you. But yes, it's me. I'm a dwarf of the sand areas and I have been given a large rifle. They said I would be good as a sniper, and I didn't know if I agreed with that because I'm a bit of a I would rather negotiate my time with others, but at least I can make a good shot of it. But yes, that is who I am.
I see that you already received your number.
Yes,
Please move to the side.
I am 1273.
Thank you.
And I
So,
just move on.
he, and he points and pushes you off to the side. Next!
Sir, yes, sir. My name is my name is Zero. Well, no, that's not a name. My name is Sky Spire. And my number is 0. Oh, right. And then I flutter up to try to meet you eye to eye because I'm supposed to probably meet you eye to eye. So I'm flapping my wings and I'm like, my number is 0112, and I was a librarian in charge of custodial work and organizing the books and stuff. But I'm here now, so I guess I'm supposed to retrieve things and organize things. Yeah, sir. Yes, sir.
What is your specialty, soldier?
Um, oh, right. Organizing and cataloging I also do some map work and photography on the side, but that's more of a hobby, but it might be useful here. Um, yes, sir.
Move along.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, you look like fresh meat. I haven't seen you in training. Next person.
Mike.
Next person.
Oh, sorry. I forgot I had to talk on. Yeah. I kind of go, I step up and kind of spit on the ground. You see this like almost 4-foot goblin just kind of look up at him and back. No number. I just keep an eye on horizon. There's been trouble in the mountains. So I come to make more trouble.
I turn back and I'm like, am I really the tallest person as a dwarf around here?
As you say that, the only kind of scans you all down, and it seems like a majority of your party is just very underdeveloped for war. As one of the most equipped ones is most likely just an elderly person at this point. However, he does kind of pull Thrak forward and says, "I want you to pick one of these." And then he holds his bundle of these sort of ornate, woodly carved um, cards almost. And on them, they have different runes and different things like that. However, when you touch one, Thrak, you see that a number glows on top of it. And what I need you to do now is I need Thrak to roll a d8 for me.
7.
Right. Your new number is 3910. You need me to repeat that?
No, I got
All right. After the introduction, Sergeant Bartlett holds out the small rectangular wooden planks of card things with reinforced metal edgings. Then he gestures, "These." Now all the numbers appearing on them, and he's kind of handing them out, or if you've not already seen them before. "These are your new names. Your old names carry no meaning here, and nor will your ideals, religion, or race. This is war. Now there are new titles. You will be referred to these numbers and nothing more. Line up and your numbers." And then he hands them out, the proper ones, to all of you who have not received them already. Afterwards, he calls up the numbers in order of the people who are in your new squad. And of course, there were a mother load of other recruits there, scared, young, old, feebled, those who seem missing more limbs than they need to be in a war, but nonetheless, troops alongside one another that kind of funnel into this main area that you are in the trench. Then he starts to call out your numbers um, in order again to signify what squad you are in. And of course, all three of you get into the same squad. Then he gives you the most devious, nasty smile you've ever seen as he pulls you all close to a somewhat of a shabby crate, kind of sunk into the ground due to the mud and rain, just almost consuming this thing into the floor itself. And then he says, um, "We are here." And he pulls out this large parchment paper map. And you can see that there are four most significant like geographical features there. On the parchment itself, it says labeled the trenches, obviously, no man's land, civilian zone, and then the base A. It says we are here. Sergeant Bodlock obviously points to the trenches to the bottom of the map, and you need to make your way to this point, the largest location, which we must establish a base for supply runs. Looking at the map, you can kind of tell that the buildings and locations are roughly due northeast of your current location. It seems that the civilian zone is a more curved, almost like a crescent moon of a wall separating itself from the actual battlefield itself, which is labeled no man's land. And he continues on. You've gotten two options here. Either travel through no man's land or take your path through the civilian zone. Chances are you're less likely to hit combat in civilian zone. No promises there. Since the locals don't quite care for living right next to the war zone, they might be a little apprehensive of troopers. However, no man's land is significantly faster and even better chances to bite the bullet. Regardless, we need the building, no matter what. And we need to establish contact as soon as it's secure. So, he tells you this information, and he's waiting your responses.
Do we get to talk
Thrak
amongst
is
each other,
going
or
to
Yeah,
Thrak
of
is
course,
going
of
to
course.
walk
If you need
up
to,
to the edge of the pile or the pit,
Hmm?
and just kind of look out and pick his teeth with his gun, his pistol.
all right. When you do look over, it seems that it's a fairly foggy, dense area, but on closer inspection, you don't even have to roll for perception at this point. You can see that there are these massive holes from explosions. There are bodies that are littering from either sides that either got too close or got too far out. You do see that there are certainly amount of resources from extra bullets, scattered pieces of armor, and even some pieces of necromance features if you want to use it that way as well.
So are we expecting like some resistance here?
Most definitely.
Oh, do you think we'll be able to talk to them?
Most definitely not.
Oh,
He actually like
well,
grabs
my
a helmet.
training is.
He grabs a helmet out, just a random one from the stockpile of different gear and things, and he tosses it outwards towards the battlefield.
Oh,
And as it hits the ground, it kind of sinks for a second before a sniper bullet launches it out and makes a good significant hole about yay big right through the center of the helmet itself.
oh. Can I have a look around with my own scope? Because I would
Sure thing.
assume it's like telescopic of some kind. Is that
Absolutely.
what perception?
Perception with advantage, please.
Ooh, all right.
Thrak is kind of going to giggle
17.
and just say, well,
All right. 17.
I hope you're fast. Otherwise, you'll take the long nap.
17. As you look out, you do see that there are kind of glints of other scopes, the light shining on them, kind of flickering in and out of the fog, but they seem far and wide of distance.
Hmm.
You do also see that there is what looks like to be a military vehicle stuck deep within a trench of some kind, either man-made or from an explosion.
Hmm. So there's a few snipers around here. I don't know if we're gonna. You know what? Just go in the cover, and I'll overwatch and I'll hold the backs.
I think we should take the civilian route. I know it's longer, but we could blend in with the cannon fodder. I mean, crowd of people and use them as coverage. And if anyone has any diplomatic skills, we could talk to them and maybe get a better idea of a route that might be more secure, like maybe an underground sewer system or something.
I like the idea, except the part where you called people cannon fodder.
I'm
It's remarkable. We're all cannon fodder.
Yeah, let's
Pretty
leave the
much, that's the
cannon
gist
fodder to
I
the
got.
ones who are actually trained to die.
Are you not trained to die?
No, I meant the civilians are not trained to die unless they've been
Are
hurt.
any of us actually trained to die? I mean, as far as I'm aware, we haven't gotten any training as of yet.
I think if you're trained to kill, you're trained to die.
Yes. Okay, well, that still leaves the civilians out of the equation.
Happy
not
bunch of
trained
fellows here, I see.
I think
Well, I don't know how fast you are, but we could move from cover to cover
put me on
if you see where they are.
put me on some sand and it's like roller skates. Otherwise, I'm a general dwarf.
I hear you're
Absolutely.
good sprinters.
Sorry.
I hear you're good sprinters.
Yeah, we again on sand. Specifically, we're very swift in it, but other than that, it's more of a waddle.
Well, I have a feeling if I took to the air, I'd probably be quickly ended up.
What does the field look like? It's really muddy?
It's not just like a flat ground. There are hills and different portions that sink deep within the ground and different areas that could be essentially cover. It's just that it's such a wide open space that there is a very high opportunity that you will get shot if you are not in cover within certain portions.
Oh, I have proficiency with vehicles. I could maybe drive that tank out of there.
That's if you can get it out of the hole.
Let's see if we can get it out of the hole.
Yes,
don't
because
mind
we're all
what-
the bastions of strength here.
I don't mind what we do. I'm a good shot, so I'll stick at the back either way. Leave the cannon fodder, as you say, to the ones up the front, hey?
Well, it wouldn't hurt to take a look at the vehicle, see how easily it could maybe be gotten out of the hole,
Yeah,
and we could use the vehicle as coverage while we're taking a better look at it.
that sounds good. All right. Lead the way.
Well,
No, I'm
then I
literally
guess-
when I say lead the way, I
Oh.
mean I'm going to stand here and shoot
Thrak
things with
will
my
go
gun,
and crawl
so-
to some cover. Kind of keep an eye out.
All right.
Oh yeah,
Can I do like a low flight to the ground, where like I'm not in the mud, but I could like pretty be close to it, but yet, like
Like a low hover.
vertical flight close to the ground?
like hovering almost.
Sort of. But more like planking meets like ground flight.
If you are trying not to hit the ground while being that close to the ground, it might be a little bit more difficult for you, even if it is a racial feature. I'm just saying because the ground is so wildly due to the fact that it is essentially shrapnel. It's a shrapnel ground now. That it may become an issue that who knows you might get snagged on something, or I don't know, you might actually launch off a landmine or some other issue.
Well, I'll try to stay a foot off the ground, but yeah.
Right.
I'll give it a
I
shot.
can say you can do that. Let's see. So, for whoever is going to be leading the charge,
I will
Leone,
not.
he pulls out this kind of he pulls out this kind of oddly carved sending stone from his chest pouch and hands it off to who's going to be leading.
Do any of us even have mechanical proficiency when it comes to repairing a vehicle? Like, would we even know the tires from the engine?
I have Tinkerer's tools for my firearms, and I've also got proficiency in land vehicles and water vehicles, so I don't know if that is me or not. I've also got thieves' tools, apparently.
You
So, yeah,
could
it makes
adapt it to the vehicle.
Yeah, clear the
You
way.
definitely adapt it
It
to
makes
the
no
vehicle
sense
if
for
need
either
be.
of us to go out and investigate the vehicle to see if it's recoverable if we don't know the ass end from the front.
Well, let me just say this
Yeah, that's
character has
true.
a bit of a conflict in its proficiencies then if I'm supposed to be in Overwatch but also in the fray.
Oh boy.
But very well. I will be a I
Yeah,
will
I mean, I have land vehicle proficiency as well.
Would you like
I would ask if one of you, if you want to lead the scope with one of us, but let's face it,
What's
the
on
gun's
my
taller
gun?
than both of us.
Yes. Let's
Leave my gun here and I'll go out into the war zone
Yes, that's
and
what
see
I
if
was-
anything happens
I
to
was
me.
thinking that as well.
Well, we could
Uh,
try to give you cover, but I'm not sure how well that's going to work.
Oh, I don't actually have any tools on me. I've only got my weapons and my armor. Whoops.
Oh, we could say that you do have the tools associated with your two proficiency, as it were. I think that would be most a very significant item
Yeah.
for you, so they can keep you in the fight as long as possible.
Yeah. All right, I'll chuck
If
those
not,
in
I
there.
can go requisition some.
Well, I've got I've got my Tinker tool kit if you want, and I'll stick back.
I do have to say that even though it's a much significantly faster way to get to the base that you need to establish, it's going to take a day's travel to go there. It would take about 3 days travel to go the civilian route, and the vehicle, even though he was able to see through his scope, is fairly out there. Is like somewhat, if not three uh 3/4 of the way, if not in the middle of the battlefield itself. There are other vehicles, but most of them are blown asunder due to the artillery rounds raining from the sky like hellfire.
But this is like the one intact.
Yes, this got stuck in the trench and they didn't want to die there, so people ran out, and now it's just deserted.
It sounds
looks
like bait.
So it's like, is it like an APC, like a carrier, or is it like a we could get in there and do a bit of shooty shoot?
You could definitely get in there and do a bit of shooty shoot
I
for
like
sure.
the idea of the gun
I'm
on the
not
tank.
going.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is totally a bait vehicle. I'm sure they're just waiting to
I bet
it's
they
like
are.
when the person gets shot with like the double tap in the knees or whatever, and then they're
Mm.
screaming out, and then it's like rescue me, and then the
Well,
rescuers
the
get
little
shot in the head.
thing going on. Thrak is just crawling towards the next nearest form of cover.
I'm just gonna like look out for any sign of movement, and then if I see something that's like hostile or aggressive, I'm gonna shoot it.
Well, if you guys want to do the vehicle, I should probably get going because this seems like the task or the route we want to take, and
Yeah, no, he's already in the
I have
mud.
the least amount of chance of setting off a landmine.
That is indeed true. Well, I can set one off if nearby if you want. I'll just shoot at it, and then I'll give you the real war experience.
You'd have to be able to see it first. I mean, the things are usually buried.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a good guesser. It's called buckshot.
Just randomly shooting the ground until
Like just
something
shoot
blows
like a
Well, I
up.
wanna
pellet
line
spread at the
myself up.
ground.
So that I'm directly behind the vehicle, so
Yeah.
that the only chance of someone firing at me should probably be from the back,
It will definitely.
unless there's some mortar fire or something.
It might definitely be me. No, I'm just kidding. And I say it in the exact same tone with a deadpan look on my face.
Oh boy. But for Thrak as of right now, as he's slowly crawling his way over there, he has a bit of difficulty. I do have to say it's kind of a rougher terrain. Not every bit of it's as even as it once was, when it was a beautiful schoolyard, very wide open spaces for families picnicking and all that. But now it's just a completely obliterated, dead grass, burnt stuff everywhere. As he does so, he makes his way through numerous amounts of barbed wire, broken down shrapnel pieces of fencing, sandbags, and things like that. And you make a good maybe about 30 feet way out there until you notice that there is a fair amount of bodies that are moving, but they are significantly dead.
I'll keep my pistol aimed at one and try to sneak past.
Okay.
Am I seeing this from the back as well?
If there's another
As
shell,
okay.
like a hole from a shell or something, another blast hole or something like that. Try and get in and get a better
Sure
look
thing.
at things.
You're significantly small enough in order to do that. If anyone was any bigger than you, it might have been more of a task to do so. All of you can do this, by the way, because of your sizes, which
Yeah.
is really good. Pretty good. But as you do track through this, you do start to notice these bodies kind of bouncing a bit, moving. But it doesn't look like they're moving themselves. And of course, there's a significant amount of decay and bloodlust. Some of these things are missing half of their bodies, other bits are missing their heads, but it does seem like a few of them are actually moving and or twitching in a sense.
Can I like?
I see.
Can I do like
Causing
a?
that?
Mm. Can I do like a call out just to be like, and like just kind of like point at like what's going on there?
Sure, for sure.
Yeah, just like You just hear me
See
like
what's
a whistle
causing
over the
that?
battlefield, and then I just kind of like spot a couple of the moving bodies.
I just want to hear what Thrax has to say really
Yeah,
quick.
sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to see if I could tell what's causing that.
It doesn't look like there's anything on top of it or near it that's causing it. It's most likely what's underneath,
Okay.
or perhaps even inside.
Yeah, I'll just poke my head up. And I'll just call over to the rest of the party.
Right.
Say, hey, move it! And then duck my head back down and keep crawling.
Damn it, I'm gonna go fluttering behind him.
You do so with relative ease, somewhat hovering above the ground. You again see roughly the same thing as he does.
You should poke it.
I was thinking about that. Either that or maybe cutting some barbed wire if there's any like barbed wire around here to try to get them tangled up in it so that at least, it's quiet. It doesn't let the enemy know where we're at. They get tangled up, they moan, no one cares, but it makes no loud sounds.
Hmm.
Until they grab you.
Well, okay. I'm gonna try to find a spot to land and before
Kill
I land,
some
I'm gonna
dead
drop
things.
something to try to just make sure there's no big like explosive devices. And I'm just gonna stab a couple while I'm going down.
All right. Um,
Keep my pistol trained on the nearest one.
Your thing. So, for Licha, correct?
So you cut
Sorry,
out for a
what's that?
sec.
Oh, sorry. For Licha, correct? That's your character's name? Licha.
Correct.
So you're essentially wanting to dive down and start stabbing at these corpses?
I want to stay like as far out of the reach as I can, but I just kind of want to give like a nice little poke through the head, if it's soft enough, and just kind of maintain my hover capability or flight if that's possible.
Okay.
And just the ones close enough to the soft, squishy green person.
Okay. What are you going to be poking them with?
Damn it. Good point.
Oh.
I need a stick of some sort. I should have commandeered a pointy.
We lost Thrax video.
Okay, I guess I'm just going to have to cap some of them, I guess, but that's going to make some sound. Mental note, when I get back to the barracks, commandeer a lance or something.
How far are you from me? How far is any of this from me?
Okay.
I think that's up to the GM. Sort
Yeah,
of.
right. So for Licha, you are hovering quite close, maybe anywhere between 5 and 10 feet, roughly. You are still trying to keep a good enough distance away from Thrax so that if something does happen, he doesn't get immediately attacked, and same for you, so that you can converse around that. Whereas the bodies that are moving currently, it's more or less a yard in front of you. You can easily see that these things are dead in front of you and moving in a very peculiar way.
How far was those little bodies again?
About a yard or so.
Hmm.
Okay, I'll just kind of lean over and poke one with my spear.
All right. As you do so, the mere touch of the edge of your spear almost implodes the body as the rotten flesh sinks down on itself. And you see that there's this sort of blue-ish ooze that kind of pours out of it. It's not very vibrant, and it doesn't look like it was based around the race or what you can tell what race it was before it was a horribly mutilated corpse. But it does seem that it has a very odd, almost sparkle to it as it kind of oozes out of this body. Then you see a tail kind of like wiggle out from the puncture that you made.
Thrak will kind of reel back, bare his teeth. There's something growling.
Hmm.
Do I see that tail thing crawling out of the head?
It's not a very big tail. You would have
Okay.
to get a little bit closer in order to really see what kind
No,
of
I'm
this.
good.
Is there any like if I'm seeing this, can I like try and like scope out if this is happening to any of the other bodies right now? Like am I seeing like little
Sure thing. From what you can see from your perch, you can see that there are some like little paws or tails and different things like that. Claws, maybe teeth, but it looks like they aren't of any single form creature. It looks like they were very badly mushed or distraughted or deformed in some way. At first glance, even through your scope, you cannot tell what kind of creature is or was within or is in these corpses as of right now.
All right. Yeah, no, I'm just kind of keeping an eye on it at this point, I guess.
Thrak will kind of pull away. Just kind of comment. Look, looks like mutations. Something here. Something dropped. We should move.
Am I within range to hear that?
Yes, you are. It's a low, subtle sound, but you are able to hear it.
I'm going to say in a very soft voice, did you want to turn back around? We can get some supplies now that we've better sussed out the situation, and we can come back.
Is the commander with us?
Oh, he stayed behind and
buggered
is
off.
just kind of watching you guys. Yeah.
Oh, he's
He's
just
like
watching us?
yeah, he's just like every so often when he's not talking to other troopers, he's kind of looking over. It's like, what are they doing? Still there? And then he
Okay.
goes back to whatever he was doing.
Okay, if I know the commander's watching us, I'm just gonna look back at the commander. Be like, And then I line up properly. And I look at like one of the little piles with a thing in it. I look back at him again to make sure he's watching. And then I just pull and I just shoot one of the piles.
You aim down your sights, get a good section of it. Boom! It launches into the body. Shrapnel, blood, guts, all kinds of mush launches out everywhere. It is very much almost like a water balloon popping if it was filled with ground beef and
Viscera.
food coloring, viscera, and you do see that the body nearly flips over with the impact of the bullet. As it does so, you see the underbelly of this thing that is amalgamation of what you can tell are rats or was a rat swarm. Instead of being a rat king, it is literally a one entity thing.
No, it's like
The
all molded
flesh
together.
and the flesh and being of this creature almost stitched together due to this black, bluish, sparkly liquid intertwined with its being. And you see that the creature itself was merely just consuming the flesh of the corpses and just slowly, gradually growing and nesting in there. You do make a significant hole in it, but as you do so, it nearly just launches onto what's left of the corpse to munch on it, and then the hole that was left there slowly gets stitched back together upon itself.
Yep. I look back at the commander. I'm like, you got rats, and they don't. They're fine with the bullets. So you may want to put some more troops out.
He looks over to you and then he's curious on what you're saying, and then he looks over.
Yeah, it's healing.
You notice that that? That looks familiar. And he pulls out like one of the bullets from his very, very large, essentially revolver that is nearly the size of one of your heads. Um, and you notice that the bullet casing that he has in particular is somewhat intertwined with this kind of arcane magic essence to it. What everyone has is military grade common
We just got
bullets made
rifles.
of metal, gunpowder, and so right. But what he has is almost his arcane infused magic missile bullet. What it
Mhm.
looks like, and it looks like to be made of the same material as this, if not similar.
Oh, has he just pulled the bullet out? Is he putting it in anything?
Nope, he's just looking at it. He's like examining from afar.
Hey,
He doesn't want to take any action just yet.
hey,
Hit it with fire.
hey! Can I look at that bullet real quick?
He nods and then he hands it over to you. It's just one of like 60.
I immediately chamber it in my gun if it fits.
Oh, it does.
I'm just like, thank you very much, and I just see if that one hits.
It does. However, it looks like the actual rat creature thing starts to inflate almost as if you were blowing into a balloon and you see its eyes. Well, it's multiple eyes. It has like 7 different eyes, not even an even number anymore, that start to bulge out of its head. What fingers or paws and tails start to inflate almost comically as it gets bigger and bigger. And you hear
Monty
this
Python.
aggressive, you hear this aggressive, like millions of screamings, tiny screamings as it gets bigger and bigger.
Stick a knife in it. Oh, I'm too far away. I whistle and point over at the one that I shot twice.
How far is it from me?
How? Oh, it's the one that you poked.
Oh, I thought there was okay. Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll over, get like 15 feet from it, and I'll fire into it with my revolver.
Sure thing. Since this is going to be a little bit farther shot, from you, but it is a stationary target.
If it was within my reach, I'm just 15 feet away from it.
Right. I want to see how much damage you do. I just want you to roll pure damage. So that would be 1d10.
Christ.
I would say that you were close enough to actually shoot it.
Do I
I
get?
just want to see what happens. Yeah, 1d10.
Do I get proficiency with it?
Uh,
'Cause I had proficiency with the hand crossbow.
yeah, let's go with that then. I feel like that would be a good mix.
7.
10 points of damage. All right. You hold out your hand cannon aloft, head up to your eye, look down the sight, pull the trigger, and this thing just explodes into just even more viscera. However, this creature seems to, when it does hit the ground, almost clump up into smaller beings of itself. But then it slowly almost dissipates into the ground.
Hey, Commander, I'm gonna need some more of those bullets.
He looks he he looks to you, and somewhat of odd confusion seeing these odd creature monster things of pure horror, essentially, and comical release, as it were. Um, and he only gives you 5
Ugh.
of these bullets.
What are they in ration supply or something? I'm a sniper.
He
So
nods.
it's what I kind of do.
He nods and says, "Well, I'm sergeant.
Okay,
I'm one of the few highest ranking officers here."
Sergeant, it sounds like you need to request a ammo box then.
These, in
Draken's
particular, are the most powerful.
monster pile, and then I'm gonna continue into no man's land, looking for the next crater.
He as you do so, The only kind of refers back to what you were saying and says, these are some of the few and most powerful bullets that you can obtain during this time.
Hmm.
I cannot part with them as much as I would like. So me giving you 5 only to go on this mission is more like winning the lottery.
Understood. All right, when I come back, let's talk and let's see if we can make some more then.
As you kind of all focus your appearance back on the battlefield, you notice that the bodies are just gone.
Hmm. All of the bodies,
Moving
or just
bodies.
like?
Bodies that were moving are now gone. You can kind
Uh,
of tell that there are just like smear marks as if they
yeah.
were being like dragged away.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. I guess. So it looks like if they're gone, can I like go a little closer? Like I'll start making my way.
Of course, of course.
All right. Yeah,
You
no.
can tell from what portion of both of your other teammates have moved up that those are safe.
Yeah, no. I'll start like going down the same pathway they did.
Right. You have no trouble in doing so.
Okay.
So Thorak, how far do you want to move up?
I'll go like 100 feet to the next crater.
100 feet? Right.
Cover.
Icha, what about you? Do you want to follow in the same amount or do you want to stay somewhat behind?
Actually, I think I want to return, commandeer, or not commandeer, fill out the proper necessary forms. Oh, God, I love paperwork. It's so soothing. And request some acid, a couple of explosives, and a lance. But I want to let the greenskin know that before I do that. That way he's aware of my thoughts, so he doesn't feel I'm just abandoning him for no reason.
No, he's fairly solitary. He'll just go take cover in the crater and clean his gun. Check things out.
I'll be back. I have some thoughts and some paperwork that I need to fill out.
We'll just kind of
Uh,
and then run off.
so do you fly back to the main trenches where a lot of the other troopers were and such?
Yes, I'm going to follow my way back from the way I came, which should be mostly cleared, so that I can get some additional supplies now that I have an idea of some of the stuff we're dealing with.
Right.
Still staying low, though.
Right. You follow the same path back. You have no issue doing so. Uh, do you say anything to the dwarven sniper at all as you pass him by?
Hey, good shot, by the way. Thanks for not killing any of us.
Just doing the job. Hey, tag team. You going back to base? I'm going out, huh?
Yeah, I'll be with you shortly.
I'm sure you
All right.
will.
I didn't mean shortly. I'm so sorry. That wasn't a microaggression. I didn't mean microaggression. I'll be back in a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
You you go back and like the Oni is somewhat confused about you coming back. You just went out fairly far into the battlefield, as it were.
Sir, I would like to request, then I'm going to just spout out some letters, a form for requisition of a lance, a couple of vials of acid, and a couple of grenades.
He simply points you off to the direction of this kind of makeshift foxhole where a lot of the armor, weaponry, and different items are. It looks like there is a sort of elf man kind of sat there, nearly snoozing off in a chair with a large kind of set of forms and paperwork there, and he
Oh,
seems to be guarding that area and or just waiting for anyone to bother him for that time being.
excuse me. Could I get a form for requisitions?
What? What was that?
I need to fill out some paperwork for forms so that I can fill out the other paperwork for additional forms so that I can get some additional equipment.
Oh, it's one of you then. And then he gives you like about an inch worth of paperwork.
Oh, gee. I'm just going to grab my pen and just quickly just start going through and reading and just making sure. And I'm just going to be like all furiously going like, yes, yes, okay, that checks. That looks right. Oh my God, yes, yes, yes.
He kind of looks off in the distance and he's like, I know now what they mean by hell and war. For this is hell. This is my everlasting hell.
Why would he work? Why would
As
he
you
work at
just
that
look so-
station specifically? Then, if he's gonna be the one that, I mean, that must be some kind of punishment.
No, it is definitely a punishment to work there because you literally have to. Everything is a necessary resource, and when anything happens to anyone, you have to go through that person, even if it's not the same person, to go through a mountain load of paperwork in order to get anything done.
So happy they
Just so that
gave
they
me my
can keep
gun.
track of who dies and what to give off,
Yeah, yeah.
like what what stuff to the next person. It's ridiculous.
Oh, sweet paper.
Sure, like all of you had to wait like 3 hours with this guy when you first came here, to get all the information through.
If he makes me wait, I'm just going to start talking about paperwork in certain paragraphs and certain subsections.
He has like I'm just gonna tell you this, you won't be able to see it, but he does have like a revolver underneath the table at all times, and he kind of plays with a bullet in his other hand, kind of whispering to himself, "This is mine, and this is mine to use. Soon I'll be released."
Oh my
Sir, you're
God.
going to have to fill out the proper necessary documentation for firing off that bullet.
He starts to twiddle his fingers even more.
One day it shall be mine.
Thrack'll just kind of lay down on whatever cover he can find, and I want to see if I can see like a safe path.
You can see further up that there is a secondary trench there. It looks like was established by your group, your military backing, however, had to be moved back as it was overwhelmed by gunfire. And you can see that a good portion of where you would have covered for the sandbags and then the barbed wiring have been kind of broken through from mud rushing down in landslides as well as explosions from either grenades or heavy artillery.
Okay. I'll just kind of sit there and flip my gun. Can I see the dwarven sniper?
Yes, you can. You can easily visibly see him from where you are currently, but if you were to move anywhere out of that direct line of sight, he would almost disappear into the battlefield.
I'll I'll kind of wait for him there and signal him whenever I see him.
Yeah, I'm just
kind of
moving
nuts.
up. I basically wanted to move up to where they were, and then that's my next Overwatch point, and then just like spot from there. That was what I was thinking.
Thrack'll be muttering to himself, military paperwork, bureaucracy. Just
Oh, I'm glad I can't hear
all
that.
the time. Want to go.
Oh boy. As you move up closer, do the two of you want to jump into the trench?
Yeah, sure.
It's fairly deep within the ground. All right.
Yeah.
Track?
Yeah.
Sure thing. As you do so, you didn't notice before, but there is a thick crunch underneath your boots as you see just piles, and I do mean piles of corpses lining the floor of this trench. It looked like that there was a terrible massacre here, and that these bodies were just left to settle. But you do notice that the almost like wooden-like dog tags that you were given for your numbers, are all missing from these soldiers.
They've been stealing the tags.
Thrack is gonna spit, do a circle, and then clap his hands and climb out of the trench. You'll just hear him kind of death, decay, disease, disgusting.
Can I just like look at the bodies as well, just to like make sure nothing's moving?
Can you roll a perception check for me? You know, I'm not going to say you're going to be using your scope for this because it's fairly close.
13.
13. You do see that some of the bodies seem to be almost like pivoting, but it looks like they were in potential pivot from the last thing that they were doing. And it's like slow movement back and
Oh,
forth.
yeah,
I
yeah.
said, so like if they were caught on the barbed wire, they're slowly moving
Yeah,
back and
yeah.
forth as such, and
I've got
different things like that. But
sorry.
it's different things like that. But you don't see any particular movement like the rat monstrosity
So
as
nothing
earlier.
out of the ordinary. I guess it's like a in the breeze kind of thing. What do you see up there?
I'll take a look at anything that's like out beyond. Like I want to see, based on what we're seeing here, if there's any like, are we in direct fire right now? Like, is there anybody that I can see covering this? Maybe.
Right. As you look forward, you do see that there are quite a few firearms that are peeking over sandbags, but you don't see anyone connected to them. They are about like 150 feet outwards, and they're not in like a huge clump, but they're in small portions where if there was a pile of sandbags and firearms there, that are resting on top of those sandbags, as it were. And you also do see some other soldiers from both sides fallen in the middle of the battlefield. For this portion alone, it looks severely flat and untouched almost.
Is there any like equipment, like grenades or ammunition, explosives, things like that, that I can pilfer?
I was about to say.
You would have to,
No, go on.
yeah. I would say you would have to look through the corpses that are there. Anything that was not already ransacked by your team is most likely underneath all the stuff.
So with these rifles that are there, are they like functional, like guns and pistols and things?
Potentially.
Yeah, I'd like to. I don't have a pistol, so if there's a pistol there, I'd like to go just take one.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's definitely some sort of pistol rummaging around in the many cadavers underneath you.
Sweet.
Just have to search for.
I will definitely take one.
If he's, I don't know, if he's investigating bodies, I'll just kind of holler at him to, if he finds any grenades, to grab some.
All right. For your pistol, you get 10 bullets for that one in particular.
Am I just still using the Exandria ones?
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
2. And then for grenades, would both of you like to investigate, or would just one of you like to do so?
I'll give him advantage.
Sure.
Give him help action.
Okay, sure thing.
Investigation. Oh, that's not too bad.
Keep Frat kind of up on the ridge.
With advantage, it's not great. It's a 12.
12. All right. You do notice a grade satchel, but it looks like pins are there. The grenades are not.
No, someone's used these. They didn't blow themselves up, so hopefully they got the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be a good distraction. Keep an eye out.
Yeah. Hey, where's that microaggression pixie?
Okay. Okay, let's head back to Lichva at the table now with the paperwork. How's the paperwork coming through?
I don't know. I'm so happy. I mean, I filled it out. I point out all the things. I've even pointed out some of the typos in the paperwork that they didn't notice, from the original forms where they were smudged. So I'm telling them that they have to request like a totally different form to correct these typos in their initial form. And if it hasn't gotten solved yet, I'm just going to keep on talking about paperwork until he tells me to get the frick out.
Oh.
He grabs the stack of papers, turns around, and says, I'll process these right now. Behind the wall where you immediately are, he doesn't even try to hide it. He just tosses it into the trash where there's a small fire going.
No! Why?
And then he simply just grabs Lance, and says, "We only have one vial of acid per troop or squad as of right now. Please go. Don't come back."
But I haven't gotten, and neither has any member of my troop as of yet. Can I speak to a superior? Oh wait, chain of command. No, that's not an option.
Yeah. He just says, "Please, oh."
Fine, but I'm going to report you.
He decides, and then sits in his chair and just looks straight forward with the most dead stare you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get going, even though I could have thought of more things to request, but anyway. So yeah, I'm just gonna head back.
You do so. You follow the same path. You've all three of you have made significant enough divots into the ground that you can follow each other's footsteps from on out.
I left footsteps? Oh, I'm getting
Well,
sloppy.
from the goblin dragging themselves on the floor, and then the dwarf trotting through the through it. I think you made enough of a mark on the ground to follow.
Okay, that'll work. I'm going to try to avoid touching down as often as possible because this ground is disgusting. It is muddy. It is nasty, and I spent all night shining my shoes.
So, are you going to reach up to where they are in the trench as of right now?
If I can get to that
yes,
point.
Definitely.
If not, if something ambushes me, then I have to deal with what I have to deal with.
Well, you don't get ambushed in the time being. You move your way up to the trench and then find yourself procured within. Of course, you're not touching any of the corpses, but you are hovering above them.
Rack is perched on like a little piece of rubble, just kind of looking ahead.
Welcome back. Did you get what you needed?
No.
No one ever does.
I tried to get us better equipment, but I couldn't.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I got something for me to land on. Hopefully, whenever I have to touch down, I could use the lance and you stab that in the ground first, and that way I'll know there's nothing beneath me. And if it's strong enough, I could actually perch on maybe the lance.
Yeah. The general gave me 5 bullets, but just 5. I found more on a body.
But okay,
Yeah.
what pet forms did you have to fill out to get that?
Oh no, he just gave them to me.
Huh?
What?
But that's no. That's not. But there's a protocol.
Yeah.
More efficient.
And mine was Moxie. I asked for bullets, I got bullets.
He got his, you didn't get yours.
Yeah.
This doesn't make sense.
Maybe you should just ask for the thing you want next time.
I did.
Oh, well.
You got the wrong chain of command.
All's fair in love and war then.
Chain of command is find it, keep it.
Yeah, try and
look, I found the hand.
What were you looking for?
Well, I was hoping that if we got some acid, we could use it on that rat, since it seems to have some sort of regenerative.
Oh, the rats ran away. I already scoped that. Oh, well, maybe you could.
Well, then I got something where I could poke the bodies with, so I don't have to get too close.
Very fair. There's a bunch of bodies in this trench if you want to poke those.
Oh well, who's my superiors? I mean, should I ask for permission before starting to poke bodies? Is there a protocol for this?
I mean, next time you may look. I just asked for bullets, and now I'm just suggesting something.
As long as you poke ones when you need to, you'll be fine.
He just said look, we kind of gave ourselves the tank mission, honestly, so I feel like we've got our own agency here.
Well, I'm going to poke the bodies.
Thresh gonna sneak down along the top edge of the trench.
All right.
Moving.
Thrak, I need you to roll a stealth check for me, please.
All set.
As you move across, you do notice that there is some movement within the fog. Can't tell if it's humanoid per se, if it's just smoke in the wind, if it's something else, but you can tell that there is something ahead of you moving. When you get closer to the first pile of sandbags with the rifles perched on top of them, you do notice that whoever were manning these firearms are now dead. Good portions of their skulls have been caved in by large sniper fire. Their bodies now lay down there. However, a majority of their ammunition is there as well.
Well, I will, I guess, crawl over and signal to the others. And I don't know. I'll try and see. I'm just honestly, I'm constantly searching for the next safest path.
All right. So, are you going to take any of the gear off of the bodies?
If there's any pistol ammunition,
You don't see any apparent pistol ammunition there. They are mostly just assault rifle for the actual rifles that are laying on the bed of the sandbags.
no, I'm equipped, unless there's explosives or any utility gear like any med kits or anything like that.
You can do an investigation roll if you like. Do you hear what I said? Oh, there you go. 17. All right. When closer inspection of these corpses, you do notice that there are a few grenades latched on to the underside of these bodies. However, they are connected to these very, very thin, almost fish wire strings that you can't really tell what else they're connected to.
Hmm.
I'll wait for my compatriots and I'll ask the kind of mutter to myself, the dwarf tinkers. He tinkers. Yes, he tinkers. He knows. He would know. He knows. And I'll wait for everybody else.
Yeah, does it look safe? Like, does it look like fairly clear?
From what Thrak can see, he yes up to that path. Whereas if you were because he's still Thrak, you're still crawling on your belly, correct?
After I saw the movement in the fog, I would have crawled to my belly to that little bunker where the stuff is. And
If
I
you
mean,
keep
while
low
I'm
enough, it looks like
waiting, I'll definitely keep an eye out for stuff.
right. From what you can immediately see, you still can see somewhat these kind of flashing shadows back and forth within the fog. Whereas if you keep down to your belly, it looks like it's mostly safe.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll go up there.
Licha?
I was wondering how to search the bodies for like scrolls or books. I know some people use tactical magic, but then I was also wondering how to work up the nerve to touch a body to get the confidence to try to search for a scroll or book.
Kind of
Yeah,
on
those are kind of sacred tomes, you know? So,
whatever sandbags
To them anymore.
are left.
say again, Thrak? Thrak? Say again? Hello?
Hello, hello. I think
Uh,
push to talk, maybe?
yeah. Thrak, you there?
No, that wasn't me.
Oh.
No, I was asking, were you saying something about the
I think that
sandbags?
was Sky Spire.
All right.
Oh, I just asked about how to check the see if there were any sacred scrolls or books.
You would just have to do an intense investigation search. There are troops that use magic during warfare. It's just that some of them are less common than others. Of course, a wizard having to do heavy research in order to warcasting, whereas a sorcerer is less often or so, and a warlock even less so. So
Okay.
it varies,
Would it be worth
obviously.
even bothering to check for see if there are any scrolls or books?
Most likely not, because a lot of these just look like runs.
Fair enough. So I'm just going to go and follow the rest of the group.
Sure thing. Do you float or do you stay low?
Stay low, but definitely not touch the ground
Whoop.
if I don't have to. I know I only have 15 feet of movement, then I have to touch down, but
Sure thing.
We lost Thrak. There he is.
Okay. As all of you move up, you all get to see this body in particular. And when you look over to the fog, you do get to see a number of these shadows start moving up into clumps.
Hmm. Can I like zoom in on my scope at all, and like try and like perceive or anything like what they are? Like I do if I recognize it, or like if it's yeah.
The thickness of the fog is causing a bit of an issue to see past your current location.
Okay.
Shadows in the mist.
Yeah. Are they moving like with like any kind of speed or like any kind of like shamble or inhuman like qualities?
It doesn't look like they're running across a battlefield. It looks like they're moving, standing still, then moving again, standing still, and then moving different lengths in different directions back and forth. It doesn't look like it's very coordinated at all.
I wonder if they're triggered by sound or movement. Maybe we should grab a part of a rock or a body part, maybe, and throw it and see if they respond.
Just wait. Dwarf, man, dwarf.
Yes, what?
There are grenades
Yes.
down there. They are trapped. Can you get them?
Sure. What would I need for that?
What are your two proficiencies again?
Oh, I have many. But I've got my sorry, tool, not two. I've got on me a tinkerers, thieves, and smiths.
I believe a tinkerer's kit would be the most efficient
Yeah.
to suss out this line of grenades connected to this fish wire, essentially.
Yeah. So am I just rolling a tinkerer check?
Right.
That's a dirty 20.
All right. You nimbly and carefully disarm this corpse bomb.
I did it. It's done. Do you want the grenades?
Yes.
Yeah.
3 apparent grenades there.
Oh. Do we each want one?
Quite useful.
Yeah, sure.
Quite useful.
Are we checking for noise? It's because
Why,
we
why
have a
don't you
rock
guys
that
hold on
explodes
to
now.
them?
Say again?
You guys can hold on to the grenades. I'll just watch your back.
Well, we have rocks now, but they now make a lot of noise, so this will work.
Boom rocks, as it were.
Yeah. You can chuck the first boom rock if you want.
No thanks. They look like they're kind of unsanitary.
Suit yourself, and I pull the pin. I just throw it.
It rolls in front and then just kind of disappears into the fog. And there's this momentary elapse of just silence as all the sound disappears. Boom! It almost circles in the fog itself, sucking it in and then exploding outwards, creating this large, almost beautiful sort of spirals of fire and smoke and shrapnel again. releasing this large section of the area. And you see that there is this sort of sheen that you kind of hit, and this bits of metal is kind of flying back and forth everywhere. And you see that this metal machine has these false targets on them that are moving drastically in odd shapes back and forth
Mm.
across the battlefield as if to be a decoy. And there is this seems to be almost like a fog machine that's producing this enormous amount of
Mm.
continuous fog that's covering up this machine. But
Oh.
soon it just stops, breaks down, and kind of falls over. You do hear like this almost ringing, a rhythmic ringing, as almost if it was an alarm. But as soon as it went off, so did the grenade.
Mm. I turn back around. I'm like, there's a lot of dead bodies here for a training ground.
Training?
Makes
Yeah.
me wonder what the actual battlefield's.
Who's training? We're trying to die.
I'm definitely
This is
not trying to die.
how you train to die. We must keep moving.
Like the civilians.
All right. It looks like that is our time as of right now. It is 4:30. Right. That's an hour and a half. So, 90 minutes.
Yeah. It's pretty well on 9:30 for me as well.
Yeah. So I know that you have to get going. I hope you had a wonderful, interesting time
Yeah,
for
it was
this.
good. I liked it.
Try to throw a little bit of a more mystery into this. I know it's supposed to be a military setting, but isn't like a good little adventure mystery into their war zones.
No, I do like it.
I was intrigued by the machine, so I'm curious.
I'm going to tell you this right now. It is a decoy machine. It's not a training machine. As in,
Ah.
troops are made to fire at it. It sets off an alarm, and then that alerts the opposite side to start firing in that direction.
Yeah, I thought
Okay.
maybe it was about to blow up or something. The alarm was this kind of like countdown sequence or something.
Yeah. Either or. Anyway,
Or it would have been bad.
what's
No, it's just a more or less a broken machine.
fair. So what are we looking at for the next one? 22nd?
I believe so.
That's 2 weeks from now, and that'll be my
Yeah, just
23rd.
yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. I'll put that in. 23rd. Yeah, all right. Cool.
Cool.
Right on.
All right. I've got to definitely get going because I've got to drive to the city now and make sure my parking is booked in properly.
Yeah.
But yeah, good seeing everyone again.
Yeah, this was fun. I'm
Yeah.
glad we actually got to do stuff this time around.
Same.
GM, if you could just stick around for a couple additional seconds and show me how to work the digital dice thing and explain it really slow like, I'd appreciate.
Sure thing. Don't worry about it.
All right, I'm just going to stop the recording. All right, see you next time, guys.
Chip.